flyers anywhere.
He behaved like Strauss. Like Richard Strauss.
Yeah.
That's not Ballard.
I know. That's Andrew Lincoln.
He's making up, but he's sharing his.
Doing a little furlough,
Yeah, he's sharing things that come through his mind because John may not talk as much as he
What?
John lets us hear what he's thinking on the cello.
There is a passage. Is it the Mahler Fourth that has, I think it's Mahler Fourth.
Are you doing color for again?
Lauren, how you been?
Sorry to hear about you.
Westlake is good.
He had a major brain injury 2 years ago because of that. We didn't know he would get like this. He did really well for him.
That's so sad.
And now he's,
So he can't take care of himself.
oh no.
Yeah.
We've been in our house for 20 years. He doesn't know where the rooms are.
All really does it up in your
So
criticize.
hard.
He stops for no
Fire
more
somebody.
things.
Oh my God.
Somebody people.
Yeah, my grandfather just passed away of Alzheimer's. Similar.
That's
Yeah.
slow.
A little slower.
My husband's depression is good.
He just really believes in
Sorry.
And it's your husband. I'm only 71. You know, he's just 70. He wanted to have all this time together.
don't make any suggestions, don't ask for things to go some way. Those decisions to take care of things.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
I don't want to be. I need to. I have so much music
It's okay, I'm making more money this year.
stuff I want to do.
See what I'm talking about.
Life can be very.
Shana Tova. Those of you that have been a part of our congregation, know that we start every service on time.
Totally.
And I am literally vibrating up here that we are 6 minutes after the hour. But
I've taken those 6 minutes and added them to the sermon, so we're all set.
yeah, that's actually 12 minutes now.
Oh, okay.
So, but you know, at Orami, family always comes first, and safety and security. So we have a new system here of checking everyone at the door. Rabbis, okay, that's a really weird selfie. How do you do it? You can't do a selfie like that, Rabbi.
No, it's not a selfie.
What is it?
This is the new iPhone Chai,
Yeah.
iPhone 18.
Yes.
It's out only for rabbinic clergy and cantors and whatever.
All I'm seeing is my nose right now.
Yeah. So see, that's the thing. This one is not taking a selfie.
Oh, it's not a selfie.
It's a soul-fee.
A solfie.
You know what a soul-fee is?
I don't know what a solfie is, but you're going to explain it to me, I'm sure.
The difference between a selfie is a self-aggrandizing picture of yourself in some place.
Okay.
Except when it's me and it's part of holiness.
Right.
But a soul-fee is where you try to capture not what's outside, but that
What's
soul within.
Inside.
Okay? Rabbi Naomi Levy, in her book, Einstein and the Rabbi, said that the soul is the Tselem Elohim, the image of God implanted within us. So if we can get in touch with that soul, we can be the best, most joyous of ourselves.
You're going to have a hard time doing that with that camera, though.
What, your soul's buried pretty deep?
Pretty deep, but I think that's why we're here this morning.
Well, I have a couple of questions we should be thinking about.
I'm ready?
Wasn't that smooth?
Yeah.
Number one is, we should all be asking ourselves,
What
has my soul been trying to tell me that I have been ignoring?
Okay.
That's one. What does my soul want to repair that my ego is too stubborn or too fearful to repair? And the last one, what experiences or activities that I don't do often enough will nourish my soul? My soul wants us to reach out for peace. Can I say that?
Yeah, sure.
Our souls are seeking balance and wholeness and shalom in peace.
Yes.
Not only do I wonder what that would look like, I wonder what it would sound like.
Sound like this.
Okay.
Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Veimeru, Amen.
Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, Amen.
Ose Shalom b'Romav, Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
Yaseh Shalom, Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, ve'imeru, Amen.
Ose Shalom b'Romav, Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
Yaseh Shalom, Shalom, Yaseh Shalom Ve'imeru Amen.
What's not known around Hollywood is the original rewrite treatment had Stacy playing a young woman, rising star, who wanted to sing Kol Nidre at her high holiday services.
There is no way I'm Bradley Cooper. That is not happening. Those days are long gone.
Good Yontif.
Good Yontif.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova Umituka.
Shana Tova Umituka.
May it be a sweet and wonderful new year. I'm Rabbi Paul Kipnis, Cantor Doug Kotler. We welcome you all here to to Rosh Hashanah services. Check the calendar. Yeah, wrong one. We are thrilled you're all here to worship with us. We apologize for the security lines, but we're pleased that we have security. Yom Kippur morning will start on time, so give yourself another 10 minutes or so. You're not eating anyways, right? The doors are to the sides. In case of emergency, go out those doors. The ushers and security will direct you to where to go. Bathrooms are right behind the doors in the back of the sanctuary. Go out any of the side doors and make your way around. You can get there. Unless you are a doctor or a parent with kids in childcare and you've already silenced your phone, please turn your phones off now. No selfies, no selfies. There was a cell phone that went off in the service last night. They were sure it was already off. You're sure your phone is already off. Take a moment, please, and check it, double check. I'll keep talking while we go. We'll be standing for parts of services. If that's difficult, just direct your heart to the Holy One. God knows what's in your heart. Our chorale was incredible last night, will be incredible today, conducted by the incomparable Betty Ross Bloomer. We look forward to you lifting our prayers even higher. Thank you to our Orami instrumentalists, especially Aaron Meyer, who's been playing for almost 20 years. Rabbi Julia Weiss will come onto the stage at some point. She's overseeing the youth services and programs. In case of medical emergency, someone go get one of the ushers. There are doctors on call, and we'll help there. The visual tefillah up on the screen, you can follow along. In the left-hand flame, there will be usually a page number. There are prayers that are not in your prayer book. They'll be up on the screen. The shofar service, bless you, is totally up there. I know some people don't like the screens, such as. We welcome all of you worshiping with us via the live stream. Thank you to Eric Colonna for live streaming, and especially to Bronze Productions for overseeing our live streaming throughout the year, at least twice a month. Please send us a text or leave a message so we know you're there. If you're any of our college students particularly, please send us a selfie and a selfie so we can celebrate with you. For the Aliyot today, we're going to be doing two where people will come up on the bima. See if you are one of these people and be ready to come up when the time is right. For the first Aliyah, we will be celebrating newness. It's a new year. So those who took a new trip with Orami this past year to Italy or Israel, you get to come up for this one. If you've moved into a new home or new apartment, if you have a new child, a grandchild, a new job, a new gender identity, a new anything, this is a time we'll invite you up. For the second Aliyah, those who in the past 10 years have launched a child post-high school into the world, we're going to invite you up and we'll celebrate. And the third one is good. Take a moment, introduce yourselves to the people to your left and to your right, really quickly, or behind you if you don't know, behind you.
Oh, it's great. So comfortable that people laugh about it. It's so fresh. It's so fresh.
Finally, in some synagogues, The cantor prays aloud a prayer called Hineni, Here I Am. It's a prayer asking for humility and honesty to stand before the Holy One, to guide the prayers of the community into the new year. In this spirit, I, your rabbi, Paul Kipnis, one of your rabbis, Paul Kipnis, pray, Hineni, here I am. I stand before you after over 20 years as one of your rabbis, facing a new challenge and an awesome responsibility to guide you along with Cantor Doug and Rabbi Julia into this new year, while simultaneously, Hineni, here I am, saddened and shaken still by the recent deaths of my father Ken and Michelle's mother Terry, and saddened also to be away from my mother Linda as she recovers still from her second stroke. Over these next 10 days of the Yamim Noraim, I will try, as always, to preach and teach, seeking to inspire this community. That is the way of the rabbi. I also expect at times to stumble on my words, to shed tears, and to perhaps momentarily get lost in mourning. That is the way of the mourner. And I feel grateful that within the warmth of this holy congregation, Orami, I am able to be both a mourner and your rabbi, because I don't feel alone here. As part of this community, Orami recognizes, as the poet wrote, that each of us enters the sanctuary with a different need. May we, in our searching and our striving, gain strength from one another, as over the next 10 days we share our joys, lighten each other's burdens, look forward to the new year, and pray for the welfare of our community, our nation, Israel, and the world. Page 34. It is Rosh Hashanah. Nope. Yeah, that's right. That was what I was talking about. Blame it on that. It is Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the new year. God, we have given this new year, you have given this new year to us to use as we choose. We can waste it or we can use it well. We can make it a year to be remembered for its joy, its holiness, its worthwhile achievements. Or we can let it become a year filled with pettiness and complaint. What we do this coming year matters because we invest in it a year of our precious lives. But when next Rosh Hashanah comes, the year will be gone forever. So we pray, may the year to come be a gain and not a loss, good and not evil, a success and not a failure. There will be beauty during this coming year, and we will not want to miss it. There will also be cries of people in distress. We want to hear them and to do all in our power to respond. There will be moments of temptation, but we must not yield. Opportunities to do mitzvot. The old year is gone, the ledger is closed. The book of life is now open to a new page, a gap bright with whiteness. No sins blot it, no indiscretions blemish it. When next Yom Rosh Hashanah comes around, may we be able to look back without regret and look forward without anxiety. May Rosh Hashanah inspire us with an eager spirit and a thankful heart. Page 38. Whoever's speaking, stand in front of the microphone. Just move side to side, and they'll follow. Read the italics.
We read responsively on page 38. Each of us enters the sanctuary this Rosh Hashanah morning with a different need. Some hearts are full of gratitude and joy. They are overflowing with the happiness of love and the joy of life. They are eager to confront the day to make the world more fair. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune, and we rejoice with them.
come from. Some hearts are embittered. They have sought answers in vain. Ideals are mocked and betrayed. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we, too, are searching restore their hope and give them courage to believe that not all is emptiness. Some spirits hunger. They long for friendship. They crave misunderstanding. They yearn for warmth.
O source of our strength, help us in our common need and striving to gain strength from one another as we share our joys, lighten each other's burdens, and pray for the welfare of our community.
Page 41.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen, listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen, listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter, gets in the way. Listen, listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen. Listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen.
Love Adonai, your God, with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might. And these words that I command you this day, take them to your heart, consider them well.
Teach them repeatedly to your children, instruct them again and again.
In the privacy of your home and in the public world outside, 24 hours a day. Tie them to your handiwork as a sign, wear them as a mark of Jewish identity.
Inscribe them in the mezuzah, place them on the entrances to your homes, that you remember to do all of the mitzvot and remain a people consecrated to the service of the one who brought you out of the land of Egypt and thus became the God of Israel.
Page 43. The Kabbalists tell us that God, in creating the world, took some of its fresh new light and poured it into each of the vessels of the spheres of the universe. But such powerful light was stronger than the vessels, and so they weakened and cracked. Thus the precious light spilled out, falling down and down through all the worlds, until it reached into the lowest world, our own.
As the sparks of light fell, they took on forms and embedded themselves in physical things, wood and water, plants and paper, and living creatures. Since that time, the sparks yearned to return to the source of all light, the single holy light from which they fell.
And so when we do a mitzvah with food or plants or paper or another human being, when we thank the Creator for having formed this beautiful and strong and fragrant thing, we awaken the spark of light within. And suddenly its fire starts to grow, and it rises, flaming higher and higher and higher, soon to be reunited with its source. Thus, we have the power, through each mitzvah we do, to redeem the sparks of light. In just such a way, God redeemed us from the tyranny of the Egyptians. As we sing the song of the redeemed, standing jubilant upon the Red Sea shore, may we hearken to the Eternal's call to awaken every spark whose time it is to soar.
La
There is desire when something stirs your soul to want to clap. On a holy day, we hold that and let it raise us up. Unless it's the rabbi's sermon, and then you can. Let's turn to page 44, at the bottom of the page.
Yep. Shana Tova. We read responsively, may our prayers be pleasing to you because they are spoken with sincerity and with truth. May our prayers be pleasing to you because they are uttered in humility as we acknowledge our frailty and our need for your sustaining strength.
May our prayers be pleasing to you because they are offered in gratitude for your manifold blessings, too numerous to be counted, too constant to be deserved. May our prayers be pleasing to you because we firmly resolve to take these noble words with us and to permit them to guide our actions in the year ahead.
May our prayers be pleasing to you because the lips which we speak them also speak words of hope to the discouraged, cheer to the distressed, solace to the bereaved, and kindness to all. May our prayers be pleasing to you because they reflect
not only our own needs, but also the needs of others and the needs of our people. May our prayers be pleasing to you because they remind us of what you expect of us and because they challenge us to become all that we are capable of being.
We have been blessed over the course of the lifetime of this congregation to be led by such skilled, thoughtful, warm presidents, each who has brought this congregation to new and new heights. It is my pleasure to introduce our current president, Leslie Kraut.
Good morning. Shana Tova. It is an honor to be here with you this morning because Rosh Hashanah has always been one of my favorite holidays. It reminds me of my mom and the smell of her brisket and her kugel, just absolutely amazing. I cherish all the memories of my family, my children, my husband Peter, sitting here and being in services with everyone. This year is a little bittersweet because both of our children are off to college. So I keep reminding myself that this was the goal and they will be back. As a recent empty nester, which I've decided I hate that term, by the way, I can honestly say that the pain of missing them is real, especially during the holidays. This is why I'm so grateful to have my Orme family and friends. I'm also extremely grateful for my husband, Peter. You see, he's not Jewish. Before we were even engaged, we talked about how we would want to bring up our kids. I couldn't imagine them not knowing their Jewish heritage, and Peter wanted them to make sure they had a rich spiritual upbringing. So we decided our family would be Jewish. As those of you in or connected to interfaith families know, this is not always an easy task. We really had no plan. Then one Rosh Hashanah, when the kids were little, friends invited us to join them at a family service called Congregation Orami. It was at the Agora Hills Community Center, and even better yet, it was free. So there was this rabbi on the bima, I think his name was Paul, and he was thanking all the non-Jewish parents who were so dedicated to making sure their children had a Jewish education. Then he asked those parents to come up on the bima for a special blessing. It was magical. First to acknowledge the sacrifice and then to thank and bless them publicly. Well, Peter and I were hooked. Congregation Orami was the best decision for our family. As you know, Congregation Orami is a special place. a community steeped in Jewish values, innovation, communal caring, and overflowing warmth. This place has provided space for those of us who want to advocate for the less fortunate, who want to make sure that everyone has a roof over their head, and who want to stand up for injustice. Among its many social action projects, each November we continue to assemble over 400 comfort bags for children entering the foster care system. This place created innovative Jewish learning programs that bring families together, from our youngest tots to our adult B'nai Mitzvah classes and Torah study. We teach our children and our parents how to be a mensch. We bring together people of all ages for beach and hiking Shabbats, challah baking, book clubs, business roundtables. And our thriving teen youth program has cultivated our young adults to care about what's happening in this world, to want to be leaders, to want to be connected to Jewish life. That's really the goal, isn't it? The 10 days of awe between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur give us the opportunity to atone for past misdeeds, seek forgiveness, mend our behavior through the practice of teshuvah, repentance. At our Rosh Hashanah table, we've always asked the question, what will you do differently this year to make the world a better place? That's a big question, and I've been thinking a lot about it. I'd like to make this new year a year of tikkun olam, of repairing the world. I believe that together Orami can make a difference, and in doing so, we nurture the love, community, and sense of purpose that comes from helping others. Advocacy, whether it's helping a single person get into a shelter or construction of an entire apartment building for the homeless, will make a difference. Along the way, we build new friendships and make new memories. Each of us can choose our own personal, fulfilling experience. Recently, a group of Congregation Orami Sukkot Shalom Committee, ranging in age from 12 to 70, boarded a 7 a.m. flight to Sacramento, where we joined over 200 Forum Temple members to participate in the Religious Action Center's Advocacy Day in our state capital. We met with representatives and lobbied in support of permanent supportive housing and the environment. One of our own young adults, so proud, Ben Ginsberg, led a major session with the chairs of the Jewish Caucus. And our work continues. In an effort to create interfaith connections and educate the larger community, the Sukkot Shalom Committee will be playing an important role teaching about compassion as it relates to homelessness in the Valley Interfaith Solidarity March on October 27th. I hope you will join us for this very important work. This is the kind of social action that makes Orami my home. As president of Orami, I hope that in the coming year, each of you will find what makes Orami your home. There is something here for everyone. We are a very caring community. We have held each other through the hardships of the past year. Collectively, we have faced so much illness and loss, displacement from the fires, grief due to the borderline shooting and other tragedies in the Jewish community and around the country. For many of us, this year will be one to forget. Fortunately, our leadership, including immediate past President Fred Gruber, our board, our amazing office staff, our faculty, our rabbinic interns, and our clergy, Rabbi Paul, Cantor Doug, and Rabbi Julia, have made sure we were all supported. I would like to also recognize many, many unsung heroes in our committees who volunteer every day to make sure we are safe, financially solvent, and lovingly cared for. Please join me in giving them all a round of applause. When Peter and I first became Orami partners all those years ago, I honestly never thought I'd be standing here as the president telling you my story on Rosh Hashanah morning, and believe me, that's the truth. I never thought I would be here. But what could be better to fill my time? After all, I am an empty nester. May this be a healthy, happy, and sweet new year. Shana Tova.
We sound the shofar 3 times during the services. The service for Tekiah is up on the screen. Our Baal Tekiah are one responsible for sounding the shofar, though the mitzvah, the Jewish obligation, is not to have it sounded, but to hear it. That's on all of us, but our Baal Tekiah is David Weiss. Malchuyot, God's sovereignty. Creator of all in this startling age, when we probe into the very code of our being and try to change the order of your works, we cry aloud to know what mystic force you are. Our scientists daily explore the cosmos and discover forces and states of matter even more confounding than our ancestors ever imagined. Together, science has not tamed the universe. Rather, it has revealed it awesome and overwhelming. And so we seek to know the nature of your ways. Contemplate the vast silence of space. We know that we cannot conceive you, the one who makes order of all this. Help us to sense your spirit when we yearn for truth and righteousness, when we strive to create the good and beautiful, when we work for justice and peace. May our daily deeds bear witness that you reveal yourself now through us. O God, who revealed yourself to our ancestors at Sinai, amidst the loud blast of the shofar, reveal yourself also to us as we stand before. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar.
Blessed is the eternal God, guide of the universe, who makes us holy with mitzvot and commands us to listen to the sounding of the shofar.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Source of life, Adonai our God, ruler of time and space, we thank you for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. Amen. Tekiah, Shavarim, Teruah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shavarim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah. Page 45.
Shema koleinu ben Ashura Shema koleinu ben Ashura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh HaKol, Ve'zocher Chazdei Avot Ve'imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, וזרעת שרה. הקולנו ונשוע, ונשוע שמע. קולנו Did you ever hold somebody? It was more than just a body, and the feeling grew into another realm. Love is a sensation that defies an explanation. The attraction and the warmth can overwhelm. Well, it's just like that with everything. A heart can talk, the world can sing. We must try to listen to the sound, even if it's hard to hear. Surely God is always near, 'cause everywhere we stand is holy ground. A bush can be a fire. A fire is a beacon to the lonely in the night. A rock's a place to dream on. A dream can be a gateway. A gateway is a ladder to the sky. Kadosh, dove can bring a message, a blessing from Shekhinah, and we are in the shelter of its wings. Holy, holy God. A wrestler's name is Israel, and Israel gazes upward on tiptoes, close to heaven when we sing. Kadosh, Kadosh,
Page 48. The words of Unatana Tokef resonate deeply in our souls because they reassure us that through repentance, prayer, and righteous deeds of love, our lives can attain their highest potential. On Rosh Hashanah it is written, and on Yom Kippur it is sealed. Who shall live and who shall die? Who shall be pierced and who shall be torn? Who shall be tormented by the fire of ambition, and whose hope shall be quenched by the waters of failure? Who shall hunger for approval, and who shall be stuffed with self? Who shall be content with his lot, and who shall wander in search of satisfaction? Who shall be poor in her own eyes, shall be rich in mitzvot? Who shall be serene, and who shall be distraught? Who shall study Torah, and who shall be tight-fisted? Dependent and alone. Who shall be truly alive, and who shall merely exist? But Rosh Hashanah has just begun, and the pages of the book of life have yet to be inscribed. Therefore, we can change the decree, for we are a people that does not resign itself to fate. Through teshuvah, repentance, through tefillah, prayer, and through tzedakah, righteous giving, we can annul the decrees. We can reopen the future. We can reclaim our lives. We can change the future by changing ourselves. We are flesh and blood. Implanted within us is the ability to pray, the urge to do right, and the power to repent.
He
Berosh Hashanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom kippur yichatemun. On Rosh Hashanah it is written, and on Yom Kippur it is sealed. Utshuva, utfila, utzdaka, mavirin et roah hagzeirah. But repentance, by strengthening our core spiritually, by giving to others, this helps us survive the dark times in life. We take a moment to pray silently. Amen. Let's take another moment to go even more deeply inward. Let me invite you to close your books, put them on your laps. Maybe if you're able to, put your feet on the ground. If you're able to, sit up straight. If your body allows it, imagine that there is a string going from your sit bones to your head, and again, if it allows it to straighten you up. Take your hands and maybe interlace your fingers or put the fingertips together. Maybe just put your hands on your lap, up or down. It has become our practice to take some time for guided meditation in our services. I want to particularly thank today Darren Good, a PhD, a congregant professor of applied behavioral science at Pepperdine's Business School. He knows this stuff, does it with people, with companies all over the country and the world. I thank him for helping and partnering in developing this meditation and then opening it up to my voice. So, if you're comfortable, try this. Bring your eyes to a closed or downward gaze and take a deep breath in and let it out. Keep breathing. In this meditation, we'll be focusing on 4 specific phrases, part of a bracha, a blessing. You will hear my voice and I will state these phrases to you. And then there will be a moment of silence during which I invite you to silently repeat each phrase in your mind as if you're saying them to someone. Take a deep breath. Bring awareness to the sensations associated with sitting now. Notice the contact your feet make with the floor. Notice the contact your back is making with the chair. Bring awareness to the sensations of your breath. Experience how the breath rises and falls and moves through your body. You may notice how it can bring both a sense of energy through the in-breath and calm through the out-breath. In this moment of quiet, bring to mind someone who seems very much like you in multiple ways. Someone who could be described as similar to you, the same gender or race or religion and ability or challenge, sexual orientation, etc. Perhaps even someone with a similar background and values, someone who you find very easy to connect with and understand, and in turn feel understood by. Maybe it's a relative, a good friend, a special colleague. Try to recall the good feelings that come with thinking about this person, sensing what is in particular that you have, that you really enjoy about them. Bring awareness to how this person makes you feel. I'm going to share words of a simple blessing with you, a phrase at a time. In your mind, imagine yourself reaching out to place your hand on the person's shoulder if that's comfortable. Someone you share so much in common with. And repeat silently in your mind. Don't say these out loud, only silently in your mind, each line of this blessing to them. I'm going to begin. May you feel safe. Say that to them silently. May you feel happy. Say that. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And now, once again, repeating in your mind these words of care and kindness to them. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. That person walks away now with a smile. And now bring to mind someone else, someone for whom you are easily able to connect with, understand and feel understood by, due to at least in part to sharing the same identity group. It could be that you seem to connect around being of the same gender, the same sexual orientation, or the same race or ethnicity, maybe the same religion or ability or disability. Bring this person into your mind and now offer them this blessing of chesed, kindness, and rachamim, compassion. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Again, slow yourself down to experience each phrase with them. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And that person with a smile gets up and walks on. So now, if it's possible for you, bring to mind someone who is different from you in one or more key facets of identity. Perhaps a different age or race or ethnicity, a different gender or orientation, a different religion or disability. Let this be a person who you perceive it might not be very easy for you to connect with, understand, or be understood by, in part because of that difference. These are not ill feelings, just a known difference and a perceived hurdle in being able to easily connect. While our distinctions and differences contribute to a unique experience and perspective, let your awareness settle on what we know. What we know we share in common with this person and all people. A desire for rachamim, to feel cared for, and for havana, to be understood, and to experience a sense of belonging. So in your mind, asking permission first, imagine yourself reaching out and placing your hand on the shoulder of this individual with whom you share less in common, and bless them too with these words. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Judaism teaches that we are all created b'tselem Elohim, in God's image. That means we are both blessedly diverse and intrinsically unique. Our DNA reveals that all humans are 99.9% the same. And yet in that last 0.1% is a world of great distinction, in which key facets of identity drive experience, perspective, and in many cases, how people treat each other. Rather than artificially reducing such distinction in our minds, instead let's try to amplify them and appreciate the notable differences between you and this person. Take a deep breath and let it out. See this person now as a whole being. Try that. As someone like you, who also feels pain and anxiety. As someone who also suffers. As someone also in need of love and kindness. And in your mind, extend to this person words of loving kindness. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you feel healthy. May you live with ease. Slowly. May you feel safe. May you feel happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Now sitting there with eyes still closed, allow your awareness to open. Imagine now that you are making an aliyah, rising up to a higher spiritual plane. Imagine you floating above these people, about 20 feet above the ground. And look down and see all three people. The person that felt very similar to you. The person you shared an identity group with. And the person you have a noted difference with. Keep rising now, and as you zoom out more and more, see the people with whom you share connection. And even more people with whom you share even remote connections. People who are similar to you. People who are different. People you hardly know but simply see around town or at school or the office. People you might see or read about only on TV or on the internet. Keep going out, expand your awareness, zooming out your mental imagery until you can picture the whole globe in front of you as a little ball. Before I welcome you back to Congregation Orami, feel one more time the warmth of this blessing and tuck that warmth away in your heart. That sense that we are all B'Tselem Elohim in God's image. And now, when you prepare to open your eyes, maybe you will commit to bring this blessing into your day-to-day life, honoring the differences in others that make us nonetheless a diverse, wonderful whole. Created B'Tselem Elohim in God's image. When you're ready, open your eyes.
We all laugh out loud, feel joy and pain, dream and wake, blood runs through our veins. We cry with our tears, love that grow, and deep inside each of us there is a soul. 'Cause we are all born in the image of God, farther than eyes can see. We are all born in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim. holy design. Each one's unique, no two of a kind, different in color, voice and faith, yet we all belong to one human race. 'Cause we are all born in the image of God, farther than eyes can see. We are all born in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim. For all of God's children under one sun, may peace prevail between everyone. Across the world, miles far away, we all are linked as one sacred chain. We all can choose goodness to keep close at heart, even though oceans may set us apart. 'Cause we are all born in the image of God, farther than eyes can see. We are all born in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim, B'Tselem Elohim, B'Tselem
Hayom Harat Ha'olam, the rabbis declare. Today, the world was born. So taught our ancient rabbis, who, based on their understanding of the book of Genesis, declared that the world began today, or at least humanity was born today, on Rosh Hashanah. Therefore, doesn't it make sense to return to the very beginning, to remember who we are and who we are intended to be? Genesis, the Torah's account of creation, is not a scientific tome. It's a religious text. Genesis does not try to teach how the world was created. That's the realm of science, the Big Bang, evolution, cosmic string theory, and other things I couldn't begin to understand. But Genesis tries to answer a different question, the why questions. Why are we here? Why do we look the way we do? Why do we exist? So on the sixth day, Genesis teaches, humanity was created. God decided to create humanity, B'Tselem Elohim, in God's own image. Now the Ten Commandments make it very clear that God has no physicality. God has no body. So what is the Tselem, the image of God then? And if we are in God's image, what did the first humans look like? For answers, we turn to a different part of Jewish literature called Midrash, ancient rabbinic teaching. In the Midrash, the rabbis explained that when God began to create humanity, God took dust from earth's four corners. That's how they thought of the world, right? Flat, with corners, but really they meant from all over the earth, and fashioned it into the human creature. Then God breathed into it the breath of life, a nefesh chaya, a living soul. Why take dust from Earth's four corners, from all over the earth? The Midrash answers, to ensure that all parts of the earth and all textures and colors of the earth's dust became the building blocks of humanity. And so every person from the beginning until now could say, I too am created B'Tselem Elohim in God's image. And so that no one could make another person feel less than anyone else. And yet, a true story.
My parents had been trying to get pregnant for nearly a year before going to a doctor. According to the limited fertility testing available in 1969, my father had a low sperm count. So, the doctor suggested they use artificial insemination. That way, the baby would be half theirs. My mother saw the horrified look on my father's face, and without missing a beat, she informed the doctor that they would be adopting. That way, she told him, the baby would be all theirs. My mother called her cousin, who had had a rabbi's help when she had adopted her children. The rabbi had made it his mission that Jewish babies in need of homes were placed with Jewish families. He told them he had a girl who was due in April and that they could have her baby. I was born on my father's birthday. And my parents were out celebrating when they received the message that said I had arrived and that they should head to New York to pick me up. They flew from Chicago to Binghamton, New York, and went straight to the hospital. I was kept in a private nursery, surrounded by guards to ensure I didn't end up in the wrong hands. And when the attorney arrived to hand me off to my parents, he went into the nursery, leaned over the crib, and turned to the neonatal nurse in shock. Are you sure this is the right baby? That's the baby. The attorney's face drained of all color, because I was the color of milk chocolate, with a head full of dark curly hair. Today, there would be a bidding war for a baby who looked like me. But that was not the case in 1970. And while it seems my biological mother was a young, unwed, and shall we say, passionate creature, she was also smart and forward-thinking enough to realize that it was unlikely she would find a family willing to knowingly take a mixed-race baby. She did not disclose that her lover had been black. She left the rabbi, his attorney, and my parents to sort it all out. The rabbi apologized to my parents, told them they didn't have to take me. After all, a mixed-race baby wasn't what they had signed up for. But my parents and I, we'd already fallen in love. Returning me was not an option to them because to them, no mistake had been made. When they looked into my crib, they didn't see a mixed race baby. They saw their new daughter. Now, the extended family's reaction to my arrival, much like me, was mixed. Almost immediately, calls came in from both sides asking for paper proof that I had actually been born a Jew. One relative suggested that a private detective be hired to find my biological parents so that there would be absolute surety about what I was. And on my father's side, the reaction was so negative that it created an irrevocable and very painful break in their relationship. And as my parents rejected people who did not accept me, our circle grew consistently smaller. Take, for example, my Aunt Goldie. She lived in Las Vegas, and my parents loved Las Vegas, made a yearly trip there. Goldie's son was a host at the historic and now gone Sands Hotel and Casino, at the height of its popularity, so my parents were given the royal treatment, and in return, Goldie came for a visit each year. One such time, my sister Elisa and I were 3 and 5, playing in the backyard. After adopting me, my parents got pregnant with my sister Elisa. Aunt Goldie took my sister onto her lap, so I came close and asked, "Can I sit on your other knee?" "No," Goldie rasped, "but you can be a good girl and clean up my siggy butts. Oh, your mother and Bubby will like that." I did as I was told, until my mother came outside and saw what was going on. "Mara Beth Ann, what are you doing?" It was the first time I'd ever seen my mother lose it like that, and I wasn't quite sure why. Goldie told me to clean it all up. I stammered, starting to cry. "Stop that immediately, and Elisa, go into the house." My mother drew me close to her while she spoke to Goldie in a tone of voice I had never heard before. "How could you be so low as to treat one of my daughters like a slave while you read a book to the other? What is wrong with you, Goldie?" At a certain point, I was also sent into the house, and my bubby joined the argument. I couldn't hear all the words that were being hurled back and forth in the backyard, but I knew Goldie was talking about me and my parents for loving me. And I knew it was about Goldie treating Elisa differently than me. Afterwards, Goldie packed her bags. She had been told to leave and that she was not welcome back under any circumstances. We never saw her again. And as young as I was, I could feel Goldie's hatred. Because it was the opposite of this love that I felt from my parents and my bubby. That was the first time I understood how deep hatred can run and how completely divisive it is. And, growing up, I never saw myself in anyone around me. Not at school, not at synagogue, not at camp, not on television or in magazines. In our Jewish community, there's always been some level of confusion around the nature of my brown existence. When I go to synagogue, I am routinely asked if I am in the right place. I'm assumed to be the help, kitchen help, someone's nanny. Rarely am I just simply welcomed with a smile, like my Eastern European-looking family members. Last year, on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish year, an usher chased me down the hall at a synagogue my brother's family was joining.
"What are you doing here?"
"I'm here to pray." "What are you doing here?" And to some, I am simply unacceptable. The first time I was called the N-word, it came from the mouth of a member of my own community. Now, for the Black community, the struggles to make sense of me are similar. When I was working as a musical theater actress cast in an all-Black play, I stood in the hallway and I heard the majority of the cast demand that the director recast me. "She's Jewish," they said. "She's not really Black." Why am I not simply seen as human? which is the way I see people. In the Torah, there's a phrase that has always summed it up for me. B'Tselem Elohim, which means in the image of God. And it refers to all of us and to all of creation, to you and to me, each of us in our unique and beautiful forms. That should be enough for any of us.
As she said, B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Now there's another rabbinic midrash that marvels at God's creation of humanity, admiring the beautiful physical variations among all humanity, people of different heights and hair types, shapes of eyes and colors of skin. The rabbis kveled unabashedly. They saw the miracle in the creative work of God. So this second midrash notes that when human leaders want to create coins in their image, each one stamped with the same image looks exactly the same. Take a handful of pennies and look at them. Abraham Lincoln is identical on each one. But when the source of life creates us in God's own image, while each of us is stamped in the same process, we emerge with rich diversification of shape, of colors, of skills, yet every one of us is equally and intrinsically worthy of God's blessing. Although we might forget it, the Jewish community in America and around the world is a mosaic of Moses' people. Just as our biblical ancestors Abraham and Sarah, Jacob, Rachel and Leah, Miriam and Moses grew up in the Near East, likely they had skin many, many shades darker than mine. Similarly, our American Jewish community is filled with Jewish individuals and families who reflect how God birthed us in the beginning, as a rainbow of colors in so many shades. Our own family, Michelle's and mine, includes close relatives whose ancestors range from Russia and Poland to Morocco and Native America, to Africa and Asia. Increasingly, the colors in our family tree have blended in such wonderful ways. Yes, the dust from Earth's four corners has enriched our family beyond measure. Did you know that a full 20 to 25% of American Jews and Jewish families now are categorized as non-Caucasian, what some call non-white? And yet some in our communities and synagogues are slow to embrace this reality. And in Israel, our Jewish homeland, it's not primarily composed of rosy-skinned Ashkenazi Eastern European stock, as some may believe. In Israel, if you've been there, you've seen it. We meet Mizrahi Jews from Arab lands and Jews from Ethiopia, Sephardic Jews, Jews from Asia and elsewhere, with rich skin colors that reflect the diversity of the Midrash. In Israel, in America, around the whole world, we Jews reflect B'Tselem Elohim, the image of God, who designed and fashioned humanity with dust from the four corners of the earth to overtly reflect the mosaic God envisioned. And yet, another true story.
I'm born in South Korea to a Korean mother and a Jewish father. When I'm 5, we moved to Tacoma, Washington. My parents make the decision that my sister and I will be raised as Jewish, even though the community had so few Jews. We can't even find challah on Friday nights, so we always made the motzi, the blessing for food, over rice. And then we had a big Korean meal for Shabbat dinner. One year, for Passover, we don't have maror or bitter herbs for our Seder plate. And my mom says, we'll put kimchi on the Seder plate. It's a pickled, spicy cabbage condiment, a main food in Korean life.
Kimchi's like maror, just better.
Even though my mother is a practicing Buddhist, our rabbi never asks her to convert. And he always makes us all feel incredibly welcome. I become youth group president and song leader of my Hebrew school. And then at 16, I go to Israel on a youth fellowship. It is the most exciting, spine-tingling learning I have ever done. And I deeply identify with Torah, our holy book, for the first time. But also, for the first time, I realize there's a larger Jewish community out there that won't recognize me as a Jew because I have a non-Jewish mother. In 1989, there are very few Asians walking around Israel. Little kids on the bus point and say,
Yaponit, Yaponit,
which means Japanese. And then when they see my Jewish star necklace, they say,
do you know what that is?
This also happens in the States quite a bit too. At services, I read from Torah, speak Hebrew, and can be drashing. And after an hour and a half of all this, people still come up to me and say,
are you Jewish?
They have all the clues pointing in one direction, but they can't get past the way that I look. It's a disconnect for them. 4 years later, I'm back in Israel, praying with women of the wall, an outsider's minion of women trying to shine light on the fact that women are not allowed to read Torah at the Wailing Wall as men are allowed to do. But even in that group, I feel like an outsider. I feel like they're all looking at me like someone who was there as a visitor, not as someone who belongs. Later, I call my mother and I tell her about this other experience where a guy in Israel had said to me, well, I'm sorry, I can't meet with you because I only teach Torah to Jews, and you are not a Jew. And so I say to my mother, that's it, I don't want to be a Jew anymore. No one would know. I don't have a Jewish face, I don't have a Jewish name, I could just disappear as a Jew and no one would know the difference. And my mom says to me, is that really possible, Angela? And it's not until that moment, when I consider just stopping it all, that I realize how much it is just who I am. And that I could no sooner shed my Judaism than I could shed my being Korean, or shed my being a woman, or shed any other part of me that is essential and is deeply rooted. Sometime after that, I finally share with my mother something that I'd been thinking about for a while, that I want to become a rabbi. She gets tears in her eyes and she says, will you ever be accepted? Because while she knows that I'm never going to not be a Jew, she also knows that I'm setting myself up for a life of discrimination, pain, and struggle if I put myself out as a leader of the community. 20 years later, I'm in Manhattan at Central Synagogue, a 2,000 family congregation, a flagship synagogue of the Reform movement. I am serving as their senior rabbi. My mother was at my installation. Again, she had tears in her eyes, but this time it was for the way the Jewish community had really opened its arms to me as a rabbi and a leader. A lot has changed for me, my mother, and for the Jewish people.
Race is an artificial construct created and sustained to separate people, to attribute to one group or another a higher standing based on the color of their skin. Throughout history, pseudoscientists ran experiments to try to prove the supremacy of one group over another. And later, scientists debunked the pseudoscience and illuminated for us what Torah and Midrash has been teaching for many, many, many generations before. That humanity reflects one truth. That no matter the shade or hue of our skin, we all share the same infinite value, blessed diversity, and undeniable equality of every other person. Yes, we Jews reflect the multi-ethnic, multicultural reality of humanity, blessed by the source of life, designed by the source of life. So these stories you heard, brought to life by these professional actors. You think the senior rabbi of Central Synagogue is going to be here on Rosh Hashanah? Come on. These stories are the true experiences of two Jews of color. The first story, performed by Bree Ely, was The Color of Love. It was adapted from Mara B. Gad's soon-to-be-released book, The Color of Love, a memoir of a mixed-race Jewish child. Second, we heard Kimchi on the Seder Plate, performed by Kimberly Green. It was written by Rabbi Angela Warnick Buckdahl, adapted from an interview by Rhonda Spinak. These true narratives, true stories, remind us that while diversity exists in some of our synagogues and communities, true inclusion, that feeling that everyone is celebrated and belonged, sometimes falls short. And these two stories are two of some of the 10 stirring stories, each poignant, raw, and real, woven together by the Jewish Women's Theater of Los Angeles into a performance called True Colors. Andrew Fromer, Orami's own talented staff member, is the Jewish Women's Theater's assistant artistic director. So I am thrilled to announce that on Thursday, November 7th, Congregation Orami will host a full performance of True Colors. It's open to you here first, and then to the greater community, all at no cost. It's made possible in memory of our congregant, Penny Spark, through the generosity of her beloved, Kurt Gorlick. Come laugh, cry, hear some hard truths. Make sure, of course, you RSVP at orami.org/RSVP. There is limited space and you must register. Congregation Orami has placed in the unwavering commitment to inclusion at the center of our Jewish value system. We embrace all Jews and all Jewish families and friends of Jews too. We do it proudly and proactively. So from now on, when you see someone enter our sanctuary, including and especially a person of color, let's welcome them warmly, just as we embrace interfaith couples and those dealing with atypical needs and challenges, and people recovering from addiction or struggling with mental health or physical illness, the way we embrace people who identify as gay or lesbian, trans or bisexual or queer, people who are widows or widowers, married, single, or divorced, families that are blended, young people, middle-aged people, and the glorious rest of us, all of God's children we are. Let's open our minds and hearts to people of multicultural and multi-ethnic backgrounds. They may be Jewish, or they may be part of the Jewish family, or they might just be considering conversion. They definitely may be looking for a place to worship that isn't going to ask them to prove how Jewish they are, nor do they want to feel pressured to share their being Jewish story each time they visit a synagogue. All that, by the way, has happened in recent years at Congregation Or Ami. It is time that it stops, because we are Or Ami. Because being truly inclusive is about opening our hearts and not building barriers. Inclusion is just so Jewish. And at Or Ami, we aspire to embrace the gorgeous diversity of hues and colors from the four corners of God's earth. So let's welcome everyone in typical Or Ami fashion, with warmth and love, as we model God's intended inclusion. I can think of nothing more that would please the Creator. Shana Tova U'Mituka. May it be a healthy and sweet new year.
Giving of the peace in your mind to a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are warm, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. To be bold, to be brave, it is a thinking that the heart can still be saved, and the darkness can come quick. Dangers in the anger and in the hanging on to it. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. Tell me what it is that you see. A world that's full of endless possibility. And heroes don't look like they used to. They look like you do. Nothing more. We are how we treat each other.
page 56.
Avinu Malkeinu, though we may not always be worthy, give us yet another opportunity. Help us create a world of fairness, of kindness, of peace.
Avinu Malkeinu, bless our families with peace. May we teach ourselves to appreciate the treasure of our lives. May we always find contentment with one another. May we save ourselves for dissension and jealousy. May we shield ourselves from pettiness and rivalry. May selfish pride not divide us. May pride in one another unite us. May we continually renew our love for one another. May we, the people of Israel, and all people everywhere, be granted health and fulfillment, justice, prosperity, love, and peace in the new year.
We read together in Hebrew and English. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our plea.
Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu Chamol Aleinu Ve'al Ol Aleinu V'Tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have mercy upon us and our children.
Avinu Malkeinu Kale Dever V'Cherev V'Ra'av Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, help us to diminish pestilence, war, and famine. Avinu Malkeinu Kale Kol Tsar Umastain Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, inspire us to cause all hate and oppression to vanish from the earth.
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter us in the book of life.
Avinu Malkeinu Chadesh Aleinu Shana Tova.
Avinu Malkeinu,
Renew our faith in the future, that we may make the coming year truly Shana Tova, the year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu Chanenu V'Anenu, Ki Ein Banu Ma'asim, Aseh Imanu Tzedakah V'Chesed, V'Hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, though we may be unworthy, do not give up on us. Inspire us, encourage us, for you are both just and loving.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu,
Zichronot, memory. As we prepare for the second sounding of the shofar, may its notes awaken us to the memories that have formed our Jewish people and to the values that nurture each of us as individuals.
Together, at this turning of the year,
I stand with the Jewish people
here in Israel and around the world. Let my heart be open to every broken spirit,
to those who try my patience,
to those who I've wronged and hurt, to those groping and lonely in the shadows.
Let my
Senses be open to bearers of wisdom and new light, awakening me to behold anew this green flowering world, that I may grasp the secret of blossoming into the blessing, turning frustration into forgiveness, and forgiveness into love, without expectation or reward. Essence of my life, urge me to honesty.
Judge me in mercy, bind me into giving, guide me in this turning of the year.
Tkiya, Shavarim, Trua, Tkiya, Shavarim, Tkiya, Trua, Tkiya.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, udevar Adonai Yerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, bekidushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu,
Please be seated. In some synagogues, we traditionally read in our synagogue, the Akedah, the binding of Isaac, the story when Abraham almost sacrificed Isaac, and we've talked about it a lot. But in some synagogues that have 2 days, and even some with one, they read creation. And so we're going to read the first few days of creation. Remember what the rabbi so wisely said before. This is not a scientific text. It's a religious text. It's about why, not how. So for that first aliyah, we're going to call up, and we ask you to come up quickly but carefully. And if I can have some ushers stand at the side of the stairs to make sure people get up, okay. Because we're celebrating Bereshit, we celebrate the newness of creation. We call up anyone who celebrated the blessings of something new. Those who newly traveled this year with Congregation Or Ami to Israel or Italy on our trips in May and June. Anyone who has a new home, a new job, a new love interest, a new child, a new grandchild, a new college, a new gender identity, a new truth. If that's you, come on up, bring your prayer book with you if you've got it. Reading Torah. Okay. Reading Torah is Grace Good, daughter of Rachel and Darren. And as Gabbai, okay, everybody very carefully walking over there. Someone watch, stay right there and guide people over, please. And guiding them is as Gabbai is Diane Townsend, our bar and bat mitzvah teacher, who has taught generations of Or Ami children and adults, and could be you if you haven't become bar bat mitzvah yet. And if you have, we have a Saturday Torah study once a month. And if you can read Hebrew, read from Torah, and you want to chant Torah for one of those weeks, months in advance, send me an email in 2 weeks. Okay, everybody take like 3 steps forward and come on over, swing. Some of you on the right, swing around to the left. Perfect. The blessings for the reading of Torah are on page 60 or up on your screen. Remember, you guys, the first line, 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Havorach Leolam Vaed.
Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim, V'nastan Lanu Es Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai, Nosein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'haaretz hayta tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tehom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yehi or vayehi or. Vayar Elohim et haor ki tov. Vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachosheh. Vayikra Elohim laor yom v'lachoshech kara laila. Vayehi erev, vayehi voker, yom echad.
Yasher koach. Now go back a slide for me, please. Just take a look up here for a second. And God saw, go back one more. Bereshit, when God began to create heaven and earth, the earth being unformed and void. I've got the light. And darkness over the surface of the deep. So when God began creating, there was already an earth or something, and there was already some darkness, and there was a surface of something called the deep. There's a great study about God, a midrash, that God created the world and destroyed it, created and destroyed it, created it and destroyed it, until finally that first human couple, Adam v'Chava, Adam and Eve, actually ate from that fruit and made it their way out of that divine escape room called the Garden of Eden and went out to live in the world, because God can't grow or learn or change without someone to connect with and learn from and be pushed by. God needed an Ezer Kenegdo another, an Adam and Eve. And so those parts of the world of existence that were there, the little building blocks, maybe the small matter that exploded into the big bang, who knows, were there. It teaches us that new things happen not ex nihilo, out of nothingness, but because we live life, we struggle, we succeed, we fail, we grow, we dream, and finally we get there. And so for all of you experiencing newness this year, there's a beautiful little baby over there. To all of you, we say, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, mishaberach avotenu Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov, motenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you in the new experiences you have had this past year. Bless you with more joy and goodness and health and safety and success. Bless all of us, O God, all of us here in our community around the world, with a way of lifting us all up to new heights of goodness, so that, as it says on the next screen, there was evening and there was morning, a first day, and God called it good. Baruch atah Adonai shomei tefillah. Blessed are you, O God, who hears our prayer, and we all say, Amen. Now, as you leave, be very careful, especially if you're going that way. Kiss, 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 get out of here. For our second aliyah, as God began creating, God moved the universe from tohu vavohu, from chaos, to a new form. We didn't do the after the Torah blessing. Everybody stand where you are. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah. Amen. Now keep going. I expect at times to stumble on my words, For our second aliyah, as God began to create, God moved the universe from tohu vavohu, utter chaos, into a new form, sometimes like we do. This second aliyah is for people who in the past 10 years have launched a child post-high school into the world. You define launching. There are different trajectories. I'm not talking about necessarily kicking them out, but that's sort of part of it. If that is you, please come on up to the bima. I know who you are. Reading Torah for this aliyah is Zach Kramer, son of Cheryl and Gary. Gotta wait till we do the blessing, all right? Okay, just wait. You're good.
That's what you want to do. Like that. You hold it like this.
It's fine. I'll just do it this way. Wait, can they hear me?
Yes. So you want like that? You don't want it like that?
It's fine.
Either way? Okay.
Well, how close do I have to be the microphone? Tell
Oh, that you can just sing more. I push you in. Just push in. Just go closer. Like you don't have to go out. Just
come on over. Come on in, everybody. Come in. Come in. Come in. Come in. Did a great job. Okay, keep coming up. We got to keep coming. Keep coming. Diane. We got to get him up. Come on. Okay, everybody, pull back row. Pull on over. So glad you're here. Keep going. Keep coming in. Come on in. Keep everybody. Keep going. Okay, we just got to keep on coming. Keep on coming.
After congregation. Who are your parents?
They're right there.
Yeah. You could launch it anyway you feel like.
Next row, come on in, next row. Mom and Dad and Alex. And they keep coming. And as we look around, oh, can we have this section here? Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, not so far, but yes, let's get everybody up. As I look out here, and Diane and Cantor Doug does too, so many, not all, but so many of your children became bar bat mitzvah with Congregational RME, many confirmed, and many of them, even if they didn't become bar bat mitzvah with RME, keep texting Rabbi Julia, Cantor Doug, or me, or FaceTime us, or visit when there's a little challenge, when they want to connect. And some of them are even out there on the live stream. We love you guys, we miss you. The second Aliyah, read by Zach Kramer. We do the blessing. Maybe you guys do it first.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'charbanu mikol ha'amim, v'natamanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Vayomer Elohim yehi rakia b'toch hamayim, v'hi mavdil ben mayim lamayim, vayas Elohim et harakia vayavdel ben hamayim asher me'al harakia vayhen hamayim asher me'al harakia vayhichen vayikra Elohim larakia shamayim vayehi erev vayehi voker yom sheni.
We learn in geometry that the shortest distance between 2 points, between now and then, is a straight line, right? The shortest distance between our children and the adults they are going to become is not always a straight line. It winds this way and that, up and down, successes and challenges. It doesn't happen early after college these days. It takes longer, in part because of the beautiful, loving, helicopter way we raise our children, and in part because that's the world today. But we bless you, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors. Bless these wonderful people who raised children and launched them out into the world. Grant them savlanut, patience, and ahava, overwhelming love. Grant them parnasah, financial success, so they can keep helping them along until it's too much helping and they should go on their own. Grant them new activities, new experiences, new directions to take themselves, so that life will be filled with meaning. You did a blessed thing by bringing these children into your family and out into the world. But it doesn't end there. Still love them, and now make meaning for yourselves too. Baruch atah Adonai shomei tefillah. Blessed are you, O God, who hears our prayer, and we all say, Amen. Final blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
As you read, those who go back that way, be very careful. Those who go that way, be very careful but quick. This is where you're back in your seats. I love y'all. Fantastic, man. For our third aliyah, we call up Samantha Pofsky, daughter of Karen Pofsky and of Jeff Pofsky. On the third day, God created the land and seas, the vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds. Now, what's fascinating is these seeds and these plants became the building blocks of many things, including the first medicines. Do you like that little segue there? Herbs to heal our bodies, minds, and spirits. So for this third aliyah, we're going to stand in our seats when I call you, but this aliyah is special, but I'm not going to tell you about it yet. Okay, this third aliyah is special. It's for healing. So we ask to rise. Is there anyone in our congregation who had heart surgery or a heart procedure this year, or lung or liver surgery, or any kind of surgery? If that's you, please stand up. Okay, and stay standing. Anyone who has gone through or are enduring chemotherapy or other cancer treatments, please rise. And their loved ones. Anyone who has spent time this past year in the hospital, yourself or with a loved one. Those who have loved ones who have dealt with or are dealing with mental illness, mental health challenges, including depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety, OCD. Those dealing with physical illnesses of any kind, please rise. Those who are working through recovery, through addiction, or a loved one is doing so, those recovering from a miscarriage or a stillbirth, those enduring PTSD or postpartum depression or other type traumas, those facing up to financial loss or healing yourself from a relationship breaking up, those who are heroically working to help your children or your parents as they struggle. Why are you making this hard for me? Please stand if you had a hangnail.
Or a cold.
Or a cold. Okay, work with me here.
Or a headache.
A what?
Or a headache.
A headache? A mosquito bite. Please stand if you are glad that you are healthy and want to stay that way. The blessing is up on the screen.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayomer Elohim, yikavu hamayim, mitachat hashamayim, el makom echad, v'tera'eh hayabasha, vayehi chen. Vayikra Elohim layabasha eretz umikvei hamayim karayamim vayar Elohim kitov vayomer Elohim tachei haaretz deshe esev Mazri Azera Eitz Pri Ose Pri Lemino Asher Zar Ovo Al Haaretz Vayehi Chen Vatotze Haaretz Deshe Esev Mazri Azera Liminehu V'etz Osepri Asher Zar Ovo Liminehu Vayar Elohim Kitov Vayehi Erev Vayehi Voker Yom Shlishi.
Yasher koach. For all of you, all of us here, all of you worshiping with us via the live stream from hospital rooms, from your home as you recover, we sing this next blessing, a blessing of healing for you. May you, may we, may our community and our world find healing of body, of mind, of spirit, of soul, the strength to find blessing in the face of the difficult times, the courage to keep walking forward or rolling forward or struggling forward, no matter what. We sing a Misha Berach, a prayer for healing. Closing blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'torenu Baruch atah Adonai notei Torah. Zot HaTorah Asher som Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael Al pi Adonai be'ad Moshe Hayim le'machazikim ba Hashem.
today inspired you, every Monday morning is our weekly video. You can sign up at orme.org/newsletter. If you're congregant, you already get them. If you've changed your email, make sure the office knows so that you can get them. The videos are wonderful and witty and wise and come out weekly 2 or 3 times a month. Switch the slide, please. I've been told I can only say what's written up here. Roll 'em. Rosh Hashanah services continue. 2:15 family service here, 4:30 Tashlich at the beach, Paradise Cove in Malibu. If you haven't picked up your prepaid Tashlich tickets, please get them from Peter Kraut at Tashlich if you got them. It's going to be cold, so wear warm stuff. Picnic dinner, no pork or shellfish. Yom Kippur Yizkor is at 12:15 Memorial. Then services 3:15 and 5:30 over at Or Ami. We wear a talit on Erev, on Kol Nidre. Please remain through Ni'ilah at 5:15. It's going to be great. I'll tell you about the Yizkor scrolls in a minute. Sova, help feed the hungry. When you leave, you'll receive a grocery bag. Please take it home, fill it with the items listed on there, bring it back. We'll share the bounty with those in need through the Sova Community Food Pantry. If you brought children to the youth or children's program, please pick them up. We do not have a lost and found for them. Please be safe and patient as you exit. Finally, so many people spend so much time creating meaningful services, so kvel, don't kvetch. If you have a kvel, a praise, send it along immediately.
Immediately,
An email is great because then we can share it with other people. Okay. If you have a kvetch,
hold on to it.
Hold on to it a little bit because a lot of people worked on it. Wait like 3 days, and if
let it simmer.
Simmer, yeah.
Like a good brisket.
Yeah, like a good brisket, and then. If it's important, then please communicate it with kindness, sandwich it between praise, send it to one of the rabbis at Valley Beth Shalom.
Yeah.
They're sending their kvetches to me, and we organize. I can do this.
Okay.
Page 74. A reminder first that we have the security. We will let people into the foyer, we believe, a little earlier on Yom Kippur, Kol Nidre in the morning. Please come a little earlier. We are going to start Yom Kippur on time. Even in times of joy, we take a moment to remember our loved ones who are no longer with us. The memory of them can still warm us. Their love can still inspire us. Some of you here, like me, are remembering your loved ones during this time of Kaddish. Let's fill this room all together with their names and their relationship to you, filling this space with names, relationships, and, of course, the memories attached to them. And when you leave, in addition to getting the Sova bag, you'll receive, if you want, 2 things. One is at the doors you'll receive a Yizkor memorial packet, pieces of paper. Write the names and a story or 2 about the people you're remembering. And bring them back for the Yizkor service, roll them up in a scroll with a little blue ribbon. And you'll place them after the morning service during Yizkor in baskets on the sides, and we will lovingly place the scrolls of your family and your loved ones with the scrolls of our people. And after services, after Yom Kippur, we'll create them and put them into a book that you can peruse beautiful stories in the synagogue if you want. There are also, for those, traditionally we light a yortzeit candle, memorial candle, a small one, for parents, children, siblings, spouse, or partner. We have a number of Yizkor candles outside thanks to our Hinenu Caring Community Committee, and feel free to take. My suggestion is you should take just 1. If you need more, you can get. We may have, but we want to make sure everyone gets first. So, holding in our hearts all that are lost, we together lift up their names. As we recite them, we say, we remember Asher ben Elkanah
Man worked for the U.S. military.
We rise as one. And we say together, Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma diverach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha brichu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shloma Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. May the one who brings peace to the high heavens bring peace to us, to all Israel and all the world, as we say together. Amen.
Amen. Oh, shofar.
Shofar. We conclude our service with the final call of the shofar. May its blasts wake us up to our responsibility, to ourselves, to our family, our community, and our world. May it goad us to wake up, to transform our lives, our nation, our world, so we become seekers of justice and purveyors of compassion. May it remind us to drive slowly and safely as we depart from the parking structure. And may it lead to a year of shalom, of peace. Together. Someone once cried to God, together, Adonai. The voice of God replied, we pray for life, asking for a year of health and happiness. We cannot. Here I am. We believe in tomorrow. We believe that we have the power to make tomorrow different from today. Everybody, we believe that poverty need not be permanent, that people need not learn war anymore. We believe that there can yet be a time of peace, a time of justice, a time of tranquility for all who live on earth. We believe that we can have a share in bringing that day closer by the way in which we live in the new year. The world may smile at our dreams, but no matter, we still believe. Tkiya. Shavarim. Trua. Tkiya, Tkiya, Shavarim, Tkiya, Tkiya, Trua, Tkiya Gedola.